What is up, everybody? This is Ryan here. Happy to have you on the show. Today, we are going to go over how to 2x your team's output with ChatGPT. If you missed the previous episode, I went deep on how to do this individually for yourself on the last episode. So if you missed it, feel free to check it out. If not, happy to have you here today and look forward to seeing you in the episode. How do you grow like a VC-backed company without taking on investors? Do you want to create a lifestyle business, a performance business, or an empire? How do you scale to an exit without losing your freedom? Those are the questions, and this show is the answer. All right. Today's episode is brought to you by Superhuman Revenue, where effectively I share cheat codes, tips, tools, and tricks every single week directly to your inbox with the stuff I'm talking about on the show today. So not just today, but like other shows that I've had where I go deep on really sharing this with you, tactical execution of how to leverage this. And so today we are sponsored by Superhuman Revenue. Now on to the show. So the big challenge right now is the challenge of sustainable scaling, okay? And so the core problem, if you look at it, and this is crazy, so Amazon just released a accelerating AI skills study, which is like right in my wheelhouse. I'm pumped that they're doing it. So I dove into this little gem and there were some really interesting things. And so here's the problem today. So 73% of employers, by the way, I forgot to tell you, this is what this is encompassing is this is encountering, or I should say, including, I think it was over 1,200 employers and close to 3,400 employees that took it. So it had both sides. It had the employer side and then it had the employee side, okay, which was really, really critical. I'm going to hit on the problem that was identified in there, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing to help folks in this area. But if you specifically look at it, 73% of employers' priority was to hire talent, specifically with AI talent, okay? Now, one of the challenges that on the flip side is 75% say that it's really, really difficult to understand those AI skills that they need, okay? So take it a step further, the employer has 82% are citing the reason is there's a lack of knowledge to implement AI training, all right? So 73% it's a priority, 75% of employees say it's difficult to find that training, but at the same time, employers, 82% of them lack the knowledge to implement AI training. Okay, so there's a reason why I'm sharing this with you today. And I'll give you a good example of it. So this kind of hits home, but effectively you look at it like one of the things earlier in my career is like, I was very ambitious. I wanted to grow. I wanted to take things to the next level for my career. And effectively one of the things that I realized and understood as I was doing this was I'm like, okay, I want to move into management, right? Because it's kind of like the story, the corporate story of like, you move from, you grow up, you get married, you have kids, you're happy, right? Like that's the path. So in corporate land, they're like, all right, you do your job, you do a good job, you get moved into management, you get moved into upper management, and then you be a CEO someday, right? Like that's kind of the story that they tell. And so anyways, I wanted to move up in a management role, never had any experience. And so what happened was I worked my butt off. I did all the things that they asked me to do. Oh, I forgot to tell you. So I was a small company. We got acquired by Pitney Bowes, which is like, it's an older company, right? Like nothing against Pitney Bowes, but very, very old school in terms of the way they approached things and dealt with it, right? So I went through all the steps after we got acquired to effectively put myself in a position. And then 9 months later, I got to go to a management development program that was outsourced. So I was very honored and made it seem like it was such a big deal to do it. And so then I went to this management training program. And then guess what happened? It sucked. It was terrible. I didn't learn anything, right? So I waited 9 months and went through all this glad handing to make it happen. And then in realization, it was terrible. I didn't learn anything and it was boring as all hell, right? So the reason why I'm telling you that story is instead of waiting 9 months, I could have taken the bull by the horns and did some shit for myself right there, started watching videos, started looking at data online, reading articles, whatever. But I went through this whole political process of trying to earn the right, which I did, but then at the same time went to it and it was terrible and I didn't learn anything from it, okay? So the reason why I'm sharing this with you is I see a lot of folks doing the same thing with AI today, right? Like, how do I use it? What should I do? And there's two things I always hear. And they're like, hey, I'm gonna do it tomorrow, or I should get to that, right? Like literally, this is the keys to the castle. Like you could if you spend 2 hours, you can literally shave out 40 to 80 hours a month. Okay. That's not a 10x investment. That's like a 20 to 40x investment. That's actually like the sales AI accelerator that I have. I designed it specifically so that you could learn all of it. If you just sit down and take it, if you take 2 hours, like 1 hour a week for a month, 2 hours to use it, to learn it, 1 hour or I should say, 2 hours to just take the training and 2 hours to go and like try it out and use it. Not even part of your job. Let's just say 1 hour a week. For 4 weeks, you will be better than 99.9% of people, and you will be a leader in your organization. All right. Versus like the example that I did where I waited forever and I missed the bus and I had a shitty training. Okay. So now I told you the problem and I told you an example of, kind of how you can leverage it. But what I want to tell you right now is the key principles. Okay. And there's 3 steps to do this to create a self-scaling organization. If we look at this when it comes to AI enablement. And so number 1 is like, let's look at you. You gotta put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you start helping everybody else out, right? And so if we're looking at that, you really, really, truly want to do that. Like you have to basically use it, understand what's possible and use it first. Okay, so that's you putting it on there. Then you look at your team, right? So basically you meet with your team and you show them and you present, right? And step 3 is you create an innovation engine within your organization so that you could collect all the expertise your organization puts in, the thought plus AI, right? The business processes, and then innovate on top of it. So you, your team, and innovation, right? YTI, I almost said UTI. YTI, you, your team, and innovation. Okay, so those are the core principles, the core 3 if we're looking at implementing them. And now here's how you actuate that. Very simple. You could do it within a month. And if you do this in a month, just like I said, even if you take 1 hour a week and you're doing it yourself, and then you take the next month and do it with your team, you're going to be blown away with the shit that starts to happen. Okay. You're going to be recognized in the organization. Your peers going to be like, what the hell are you doing, dude? You're like leveraging, you're just blowing past me on these things. Your boss is going to wonder why you're doing so well. You're going to be more well-rested because you're not spending as much time at work. All right. So here's the path. Month 1, try a 1-month pilot test. Okay. And here's what I would say. Okay, you've already put the oxygen mask on yourself. You know what's possible. You've looked at some of my content. You've looked at the cheat sheets, the tools, right? And you've tested it out. All right. So then what you do is this is broken out over a month structure. Week 1, you show your team what's possible and you present to them in your team meeting. Okay. At that team meeting, you then task them to take 2 hours out of their next week and to use the tools, look at what you're doing, share the materials and what you found, and have them identify 3 use cases apiece. Okay. You have 5 people on your team. That's 15 use cases you're going to have. Now, what you do is at the following meeting, you have them present those use cases, right? Not only they present the use cases of what they found, what they're excited about, how they felt, where they struggled, but then also share the prompts. All right. So from there alone, you're going to have 15 prompts from 5 people. And even if they suck, it's a start, right? Then what you do is out of those 15, you vote on the ones that are the best, right? And those are key practices that you start to implement. All right. Then what do you do in week 3? You have them do the same thing that week, present again and show the results, and then do the same thing in week 4, present and show the results. And before you know it, you have an internally built prompt library, your team's AI enabled, and things will start moving for you and your business. So that's an ultimate, easy, free way to implement it. Now, other examples are like, you could leverage someone like me. I have a whole prompt matrix built out, so your team doesn't need to go through trial and error. They have a running start or a sprinting start, and they'll be blown away with what they see, right? Like that's an example where you could leverage someone like me, and I help you set up a prompt library and all those details. However, if not, you can go the other way. Like I just mentioned, very simple, very easy, very actionable, okay? So that 1-month process will help you create a self-scaling team that innovates on top of itself and it gives you the library that you can start to become the thought leader in the organization, the industry, and everything that you do. All right. So just to put a quick recap on this, all right, let's look at the key framework. All right, put the oxygen mask on first. You got to understand the case, the examples of what's possible, the use cases, right? then you present to your team, right? You try this 1 month pilot. Ask them to present. And then 3, your innovation engine. So you, your team, and then the innovation engine will collection and innovate, right? And this is just the starting point. This is going to get way more exciting as things go on. I'm blown away with everything that's possible already. But what you're going to start seeing is as this progresses, those prompts are going to be foundation to creating agents, which are actually autonomous AIs that will work for you in unison. And that's where this is heading. So this is why I'm telling you, start now. Do not wait. You are going to stick out and you are going to be way ahead of everyone if you jump on this now. It's like the equivalent of buying Amazon stock at $1 or buying Bitcoin for 10 cents. You will thank me down the road. And I hope this episode was helpful for you. I tried to make it fast and actionable so you could implement this immediately. And whether you want to go the route of doing it yourself or you want someone like me to help you, you have multiple paths to do it. So anyways, I appreciate you being on the episode. If you like this, let me know. Shoot me a DM on LinkedIn. I love hearing back from you. I hear from people all the time, and you are the reason why I'm doing this. This has made a big change in my life. Anytime I've been able to find out how I could shave out 10 to 20 hours a week through my work, through different methods. And AI is a key vehicle that you could leverage now that I've seen that's better than any other vehicle I've used in the past. So I want to keep sharing this with you. Send me a note. Let me know what you liked. Drop me a review if that's cool too. I love seeing those. And at the same time, last but not least, if you need some help, let me know. And this is my specialty. This is what I live, love, and am passionate about. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you on the next one. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do, but there are some really, really interesting things that I'm thinking about that you're not going to want to miss out, because this could shape your entire year for 2024. So thanks for being on, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for checking out the Scale Up Show. My mission in life is to help founders and revenue leaders avoid all the pain and suffering in revenue growth so they can flip it and create a life of their own design. So if you enjoyed this show, please like, review, share it on social, and more importantly, just share it with a friend. Share it with someone that you think could learn and benefit from what you heard on today. But the more we get the message out, the more people we could help, the bigger the impact we make, and the bigger the community gets, which helps everybody. So once again, thank you for being a loyal listener. I appreciate you and look forward to seeing you on the next episode.